Wadsworth constant. The Wadsworth constant. Nobody? How about something called Godwin's law? You've heard of that? Can you explain what Godwin's law is?
Which one?
Godwin's law.
Did you say Darwin's law?
No,
Godwin, sorry, never mind.
That's my fault. Okay, so Godwin's law, those are those kind of phony internet things that people talk about. So Godwin's law, spelled like that, is that as an online discussion goes longer, the probability of a comparison involving Nazis or Hitler approaches 1. You've probably all seen that talking to people online. Eventually someone is going to call somebody Hitler or compare them to Nazis and just blow the whole thing out of proportion. The other one that I talked about, Wadsworth's constant, means the idea that the true meaning of a video, conversation, or comment approaches importance after approximately 30% of it has been skipped over, meaning that you can basically just burn the first 30% of any sort of online content. Obviously, those don't just apply universally, but they are things that people talk about that they observe often enough that it is significant. You can actually enter, it's something like, there's a tag that you put at the end of a YouTube video that's Wadsworth, that will cut off the first 30 seconds. So they've incorporated it into Google, it's a thing. But basically, what they're referring to is the fact that some people who make YouTube videos, since a lot of them are amateur content makers, have a really hard time, they're reluctant to just get to the point and not waste people's time. And the other one, Godwin's law, kind of the inverse of that, where people are way too eager to get to their point and they haven't thought it through and it's just going to be annoying for everybody. So this is an example of how that works. I'm going to show you some examples of YouTube videos. This is actually, the first one is the video that Wadsworth constant was coined after watching. So why don't you raise your hand when you think she's gotten to the point?
The volume on.
She has a point.
Hi, I'm Jill Cooper from LivingOnADime.com. One of the biggest challenges you're going to face in your life is how to fold a fitted sheet. So today I'm going to try to show you how to do that. First of all, why bother to fold your sheets? Let me show you. A lot of us are short on storage in our closets. And so by folding it, you can double your storage space instantly. I have an example here. Here's unfolded, here's folded. The amount of time it takes to fold this sheet, you'd spend the exact same amount of time digging through your linen closet trying to find the right sheet when they're all wadded up and unfolded in there. To begin with, you hold the sheet lengthwise by both corners of the
Alright, you don't have to watch the whole thing. The name of the video is How to Fold a Fitted Sheet. So when you're making a YouTube video, it's probably a good idea. Obviously, it's not obligatory, but it's a good idea to think about how people arrived at your video, what they're expecting from it, and how long does it take you to deliver on that. Because she used 40% of her video just introducing herself, just over-introducing everything. Probably, I don't know. Obviously, some people might be interested in her opinions on why you want to fold things, and that folded things are smaller than not folded things, but not everybody's going to be, and it might get in the way of the success of your YouTube video.
Your next video is like that. It's like watch me on YouTube.
So, what we're trying to figure out with this presentation, obviously it's a collaborative thing. I don't know all of you have access to all the same information that I have access to, which is kind of the point. We're trying to figure out why people watch online videos, what makes some of them more popular than others, and what makes online video different from other AV media, TV, film. Obviously they have a lot of things overlapping and a lot of things on online video, borrows from previous formats, but we're going to look at some of the differences too. So usage patterns that are kind of unique, or at least more common with online video, things like marathon viewing, multitasking, control over the viewing experience. I know that I'm competing with a lot of you over some other things that have a little bit of your attention at the moment. That's going to be the case most of the time when you're making an online video. People are going to have 3 or 4 things going on. You're not going to have their full attention. You can lose the little bit of their attention that you have very easily. Marathon viewing, how many of you have marathon video series of some sort on Netflix or something? Probably. So that's becoming more and more common. People seem to like viewing things in that format, which is why Netflix has started releasing things an entire series at a time. It's been a very popular way to do things. And control over the viewing experience. You can actually skip forward, you can skip the first 30% of the video if you think that's useful. You can stop watching at any time. You're under no obligation of any kind to continue watching the video. You need to come up with strategies for how to keep people on your page, how to keep people watching your video, and how to hopefully keep them there till the end so you can give them some information about the rest of your channel and kind of direct them to videos. I'll talk about it later. So, marathoning, how does it happen? Well, the idea is, well, you've all experienced it, a lot of you have experienced it anyway, when you watch a video, you get to the end of it, and you have kind of a, you've had this whole experience, you felt like you were accomplishing something, and learning things about these characters, connecting with them, you get to the end, there's a little bit of resolution, then it ends, and you feel a little empty inside. And that's kind of what drives you to watch the next video, and you end up watching the entire series, right? So that is a very common thing that people experience. It's because when you're watching something, the whole point, the reason why it's entertaining, is it triggers the reward system in your brain. I actually have a video that talks about that one. It's not the same one. So, this just applies to any sort of game, but it's talking about Flappy Bird. I hope that's not boring your purpose.
Okay, it's pretty simple. There's a bird, you tap on the screen to make it go up, you don't tap on the screen to make it go down, there are pipes, if you hit the pipes or the ground, you lose, that's it. And yet people freaking love it, or maybe they hate it in just the right way, because, well, it is maddening. Top score 29 right here, and not intending to ever beat it until, that little spark of something occurs to me. Maybe I can beat that score. I mean, 29 is just one away from 30, and 30 would be such a nice round number. And then I'm playing again. I'm playing and playing until I hit 30, but then I can keep my streak alive, and the thrill begins. I'm freaking out because every new gap is another step toward 40, or even 50. Okay, 36. That's good enough. That's as far as I need to go until the cycle starts again. So why? Why do I keep doing this? Why do millions of people keep doing this? Why are our brains so dumb? It's actually fairly well studied. Not with Flappy Bird specifically, but with gaming and, more importantly, with gambling. This turns out to be similar, though of course not as worrying as gambling addictions. Our brains and bodies are designed for achievement. What that achievement is defined as is partially innate, like finding a suitable mate, and partially cultural, like getting a great job or scoring touchdowns in football. Whatever those achievements are, our brains crave them, and when we achieve, our brains release chemicals that make us feel good, particularly dopamine. We sometimes talk about dopamine like it's just the chemical that makes us feel good, but it is also much more than that. Feeling better when you achieve is nice and all, but what your brain really wants is to find the pattern that leads to the eventual achievement. So if you ascribe value to doing well in Flappy Bird, which of course is what games are designed to make you do, and then you do well, then you get that feeling of achievement, that pulse of dopamine. But your brain is also recording the actions that led up to that feeling, and it thinks, how can I make this happen again? Well, last time, all I had to do was play a little Flappy Bird for a little while, so let's try that. Suddenly, just turning on Flappy Bird, starting the game gives you a little bit of dopamine, a precursor of what's to come, an encouragement to go for that achievement. Dopamine, it turns out, is one of the keys to habit formation. The rage? Well, that's part of it too. It's your brain wanting the reward, following the pattern and not getting there. That rage is not designed to make you stop playing the game. It's designed to make you try again, try harder, to break through that wall and achieve your reward. This is an excellent system for getting food and sex. Pleasure to make you enjoy it, habits to enforce the previous pathways that led to it, and blinding rage to make you incapable of accepting failure. Of course, it's all more complicated than this because your brain is extremely complicated. Your craving for Flappy Bird is certainly a 21st century addiction, but it's based on neurochemistry that is far older than our species, and that's pretty freaking weird. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow, and thanks especially to all of our subbable subscribers. If you have any questions or ideas for us, we're in the comments and on Facebook and Twitter. And if you want to keep getting smarter with us, you can go to youtube.com/SciShow.